Anne's husband for more than 50 years. Mr. Bernhard Fred Ulrich Gibbons, the BFG, your loyal friend, your friendly neighbour. He loved being in this church. Bernie the aerial man, knocking at your door with a huge smile and a roll of yellow and green tape, ready to fix anything. First thing he said when he knocks on the door, "Will you put the kettle on?" Solid, warm, funny, caring, loyal, kind. Resourceful, a true gentleman. Our dad started life by being born in a bucket. Well, that's what he always told us all. He grew up in Ferry Hill before moving to West Cornford and then North Close. He was born at home, and I got the impression he had a hard start in life. He was loved, but he didn't have much. I never got the chance to meet his mum, Eliza Jane. She died the day my mum went in hospital to have me. But everyone tells me what a warm and wonderful lady she was. And my dad, he absolutely adored her. His dad was Martin Gibbons and he was in the army. He died young, and his brother was Kenneth Gibbons, and he has also sadly passed. My fondest memories of going for random drives. Just me and my dad. We would drive around for hours in his red Mercedes, looking at all the houses where he used to live. 20 Brunel Street, Dingbank, in Ferry Hill where he was born. I used to just love being in the car with him. Age 4, I would tell him, "Dad, turn left, turn right." And we would always end up someone's house for a cup of tea, usually Auntie Eileen or Uncle Cliff's. When he was a handsome 20-year-old, and he was ultra handsome, you can see by the photos. He was gorgeous, wasn't he, Mum? 20-year-old.
Inside, outside.
He went into the army, and he loved that time. He learned to drive in the big army trucks. But I'm not sure he ever got taught to change gear. He drove everywhere ever since in second gear because he just loved to tell stories as he drove. My dad could build anything. I had such the most wonderful animal houses growing up. I had a huge ferret cage fit for 10 ferrets, and I would sit in it for hours with tunnels and drain pipes that he found for them to play in. Our Philip had a garden full of homemade aviaries. He built us a fox house. He changed the spare bedroom into an aquarium for the iguana. He knocked down the beautiful greenhouse that had this lovely grapevine to build a pig pen. And when I had a house in Hartlepool, he came over and built a cat mansion, which we call Casablanca. He could fix anything. He was always getting a call from one of us, "Come help, Dad." And he would be there in a second. And as he walked through the door, he would say, "Put the kettle on." Getting older, it was really hard for him not to be able to help us much. One day, when I was in the garden with my mum, She was weeding the garden in Hartlepool with her hands, bare hands, taking every weed out of the garden. And my dad wanted to help. I got a bit nervous when he picked up the hedge trimmer. I quickly put all the dogs inside. I pictured an ear flying across the garden. Do you remember, Mum? Well, the next thing I knew, I was in A&E. His thumb was getting sewed on by the doctor. It was a special moment, and he just laughed while the doctor put him back together. I held his hand the whole time. Everything was easy and calm with my dad. Oh my God, oh I shouldn't say God, oh my goodness. He loved to work. He was a professional electrical engineer, but the thing he loved the most was putting up aerials. I was so proud of him to run his own business and keep it going for over 50 years through some really tough times. As aerials went out of fashion, he started fitting satellite dishes, and he also won a huge contract with the council. He kept reinventing his business. And still to this day, if you look up at the roof and you see the yellow and green tape, you know Bernie the aerial man has fitted that aerial. And talk about customer service. Bernie the aerial man was known to everyone. His white van or Ford Granada with ladders on top, his big warm smile, followed by one of his little Jack Russells, Nelly or Buttons. And the first thing he would say as he arrived at the house, "Put the kettle on." He loved to work, and his whole life was about providing for his family, his one priority. He never wanted to retire, and even when he was too old to carry a ladder or drive, our Ian took him to work. Thanks, Ian. He got to do a bit more of what he loved for a bit longer. Our dad, he taught us to swim, he taught us to read, he told the best bedtime stories. He taught us to ride bikes, he taught us to play cards, he taught us to play pool and dominoes, and he taught us all to drive. He was so patient. He always had all the time in the world for us, and he never got angry. He just loved. One day when he was teaching me to drive in Thorns EMI car park, ABC, accelerator, brake, clutch, he looked at me and said, "You have the most beautiful blue eyes." What does it feel like to be truly loved? I know, we know. I loved to dance with my dad. I went to dance lessons, and we had dad and daughter competitions. The feel of him waltzing round the floor in Spenrow Town Hall with me will stay dear to me forever. And of course, before every dance tournament, he would take me shopping. And he would buy me the biggest, loveliest dresses and the shiniest shoes. I felt like a princess. He always made me feel like a princess. He never wasted money though. We would reuse everything out of his garage. He'd fix everything for you with his mum himself. He loved to build things from wood. I think Ian got that gene as well, as he was telling me about his barbecues that he's homemade. But if we wanted anything, he would give you a last £10 note from his wallet. He was kindness himself. No family member ever left our house with a £10 or a £20 note being stuck in your pocket before you left. For his 75th birthday, I took him in a hot air balloon ride from Barney Castle. I was terrified of heights, but everything I did with him was calm and easy. I loved it. We had the most beautiful time. It was so peaceful, and we were so proud of ourselves. We came back home with huge smiles on our faces, and I didn't feel 1 ounce of fear with my dad with me there. My happiest memories are from Gardens Way Road. I love that house. I think we all love that house. My dad had a proper full-size pool table in the garage. He was an amazing pool player. We all have really fond memories of a game of pool in the local pub. He would just put one ball in after another. Sometimes he wouldn't even lock while he potted all the balls. I hope he is up there planning a game of pool this evening. My mum and dad were the trendy sociable club of Gardens Way Road. Both incredibly warm and beautiful, with loads of friends and a garden full of animals. They were so kind. They looked after every kid in Cornforth. Which is when we met our adopted sister Diane. Standing outside the gate, asking to play with Phil. The last time we took Mum and Dad out for a meal together, it was the old mill. And Dad looked at Diane and he told her that she's always been part of the family and that he loved her very much. They threw great dinner parties, and I fondly remember the bonfire parties. For dinner parties, they had the best china. Mum made T-bone steaks. And she wore the most beautiful full-length gowns, like Marble from The Good Life, though they were both more Tom and Barbara at heart. Oh, and Yorkshire puddings. Every Sunday, he loved Sunday dinner. He was definitely a potato, meat and 2 veg man. The last time he spoke to my mum, he asked her to make him a corned beef pie. My dad loved animals. He would find injured ones and bring them home. I remember a deer. And we would never ride past a sign with animals for sale and not stop. Once we brought home we thought we'd got 2 cute fuzzy ducks, and they turned into these 2 huge geese that chased us around the garden. I remember one day in Gardens Way Road, sat in my bedroom crying because the cat had been run over. He hated to see any of us crying, so he popped up the road to a neighbour's house and came back with a small grey kitten. We named him Smokey Joe. We first met our German Shepherd Sam when we heard whimpers in the hallway, and we opened a little box and the cutest puppy was sat there with the floppiest ears. He loved all dogs. He had the biggest Great Danes, Nero, Sarah the Irish Wolfhound, and the most loyal Jack Russells. Titch, Nelly and Buttons, all sizes, all creatures great and small. Most of all, my dad loved his family. The last year has been so hard. To be truthful, he didn't catch coronavirus, but he did die because of it. Through the loneliness it brings in care homes and in hospitals. Thanks to our Ian and Doss for taking amazing care of him over the last year. They really did everything they could for him in such difficult circumstances. I am so grateful. We are so grateful. Thank you. I am devastated I was not there at the end. But I know he was surrounded by love. Thank you also to Phil for everything he has done, taking care of everything, making all the tough decisions. And being the backbone of our family. To the Mason Diane, thank you for all the support she still gives to me, our family, and most of all my mum. To Jonathan and Tracy for being there for us and supporting us. And to his beautiful grandchildren, Sarah, Curris and Emma. And to all his family and friends. And most of all to my mum. So brave, so strong, and so wonderful. My dad, our wonderful dad, granddad, and husband. Mr. Bernhard Fred Eric Gibbons, the BFG. Bernie the aerial man. Our lives will never be the same. I love you. We love you. We miss you. You are still here, and you will always be. Enjoy your meal with Phil tonight. Thank Annie. And when I see you next, put the kettle on.
Oh, hello everybody. Just a quick word